Go back to your heart, America, United States of America. The good in America has always been love, more expansive, more creative, and more objective. That's the teaching of this channel. To communicate love inside yourself and in your world. This particular channel is about applying that to politics and social circumstances. So, what do you need to do, America? Remember your heart. You don't, when you go back for greatness, don't go back for the bad, for hate, for fear, for greed, power. Don't go for that. Not by might, not by power. That should be ringing with anyone who is of the Christian faith. Not by might, not by power, but by my spirit. And what is the spirit? It's love. So, love is the answer. The way the Beatles sang, love is the answer. And that's the heart of America. Expanding that love, not contracting it around my group, but expanding it to every human being. Not just contracting it to this country, but expanding that love around the world. USAID, until America turns back to its love of democracy and to the words of wisdom from their religions and from love, the good part of any religion. Until we go back to that and start growing again, there's no choice. If you're not growing, you're dying. Right now, this thirst for power and greed on the part of a very few United States Americans is plunging the world into chaos. Our allies are wondering what happened to us. Did you wake up cranky, America? Yeah, time to get over it. You know, that's at the core. And you can get all fancy with all of the descriptions of democracy, and people will just go to sleep. You know, it's you know, it's words, right? I've got the best words. Yeah, no, it doesn't. You know, so when you're wanting to make America great again, go for the heart that's growing. We were growing. We were getting better and better. Biden did a lot of good things, but all it took was one guy that loves to lie saying, no, they're not. All the evidence against him, you know, things were getting better. The inflation, well, that's not easy to fix. And, well, but liars and con artists will lie to you, and that's not loving. It's not loving. They're teaching you to hate someone, blame someone, and forgive us our sins as we forgive those who sin against us. What happened to that? What happened to this great heart of America? If you want to go back to greatness, go back to the love that was growing, that was increasing. wasn't perfect. It was never perfect. We don't want to go back and stay there. We're going to go back and revive. We need a revival in America. Revival of the love of democracy, the love of human rights, and the love that is growing is the guide. More expansive, it is compassionate, more objective, it has to work. Love is about meeting human needs. You got to be factual there. You got to have the truth, and you got to have that goodness. And you need to be able to sit back from the whole picture of things the way the media is supposed to do and give us pictures of ourselves. That's artfulness. That gives us a break from the tussles and the drama of our lives, which is all about business. The business of everything is business, but business that it means trade, fair trade. There's no free trade unless there's fair trade. As long as someone can use their money to drive other people out of business, that's not free trade. How is that free trade? Making sure that they never pay their fair share of taxes. Yeah. So, and that fair share of taxes might just go to help small businesses who employ most of us. So, look, if you got a choice, America. You can do just the opposite of Jesus, what Jesus and the great prophets of old said. You can go against that. You can honor greed and power, and you can do that. That's your choice. But you won't be a great nation anymore. You will be, instead of a growing, loving nation, you'll become a hateful, dying nation. And that's how that works. That's how it's worked for centuries. So, is it the end of America? Or will America have a revival, a return to its true heart? I hope so. That's the purpose of this channel, to talk about speaking love inside your own self, inside your own inner mind communication as a practice, and learning that in your exchanges every day with people, and in how you vote. Vote in a way that helps everybody. Win-win, not win-lose. Something that actually helps everybody. And we can differ on how to do that. But we need to be aiming to do that. Not feeding the greed of a handful of people who are taking all of the profits and controlling everything. Their idea of efficiency is that of a farm. And guess who the farmers are? Guess who the farm animals would be? Well, you just think about that. I won't, it'd be your quiz for today. Yeah, that old horse over there, be much more efficient, to not invest in that old dying horse. I mean, he's old. Maybe the glue factory. Anybody remember the Soylent Green movie? Yeah. And of course, looking at it that way, I mean, you don't waste health care on an aging animal. Just replace them. Right? You don't want to be replaced. Yeah. Honor your elders. Show them some love on their way out. I'm one of those. So that's a very selfish statement, I suppose. So this is what we need to do. And I dearly hope that America will do it. Now, what can you do? You can protest in the streets. You're legal and have a attorney's office. Work for the people. Work for democracy. Don't sell out to a handful of people who are. The fact is, they're the waste. Does anybody need 5, 6 homes that they only live in part of the time? Maybe they don't do that. Maybe they have lots of yachts. Or maybe they just love hoarding all the money and making more and more billions. Well, Jesus said something about a rich guy who had who was doing well, and he says, "Oh, I'm doing so well, and everything's great," but he wasn't investing in other people, right? Just himself. As Jesus says, yeah, he's got his reward already. Yeah, that's the end of that. Yeah, you already got your reward. Invest in love. That's the spiritual way. You say what you want, Rationally, spirituality is love. Adhere to it. Don't just talk about your religion. Put the loving part of it into motion. Save America. Bring it back to its heart. Well, that's what I've got to say today. What do you have to say? Yeah. You can make comments. You can share the video or not share it if you really hate it. Yeah, you can subscribe and become more involved in what the channel is. No channel really belongs to any person. Ultimately, it belongs to all of the people who contribute, and hopefully they get something out of that. And if they don't, then, well, that trade's going to go down. So let's try to make this a channel that helps a lot of people, and that is your voice. Make it your voice. Just share the video if you like it. If you agree, that's your voice. And where you want to add to or detract from what's being said, well, put it in the comments. But let's approach it with love, with objectivity, creativity, and compassion. That's the teaching of this channel. And that's what will heal humanity and save America. May the road rise to meet you. May the sun shine always on your heart.